Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and today, thanks to Boston Motorsports in Brighton, Massachusetts, we're driving the 2017 Mercedes-Benz AMG S65, a 6-liter BiTurbo V12 with 621 horsepower, 738 pound-feet of torque, all driving the rear wheels. No all-wheel drive in this one. This is a proper rear-wheel drive Cabriolet. The S65 is the top dog in this generation because there was an S63, which in its sprint to 60 would have been faster because the S63 was available with all-wheel drive. This car, although it'll still do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, it's not about that 0 to 60. I think it's about that 80 to 160. It has so much torque and it is so potent. It's always on tap under your foot. But first, let's just talk about this style. An S-Class Coupe is already kind of one of the coolest cars out there. I always appreciate an S-Class Coupe. It's ultra classy. It definitely screams money because this S65 cost $250,000 when new just a few years ago. Now it's got 35,000 miles on it, and I'm sure it has depreciated nicely for the next owner. An S-Class Coupe screams boss, but an S-Class Convertible screams baller. We've got these monster 6-pot calipers up front. The fronts are wrapped in 255s. The rear's wrapped in 285s, 285 millimeter section rear tires, designed to maintain traction with 738 pound-feet of torque. I just don't believe it. It's not gonna work. We're gonna have some wheel spin today, and I'm here for it. But the best part of having a cab is that you get to see all of this interior with no obstructions. So we've got the Burmeister sound system, and it is everywhere. You've got it in the center console, in the doors, in the dashboard. It's pretty outrageous. And then to keep you warm, because you're gonna wanna keep this roof down most of the time, you can see the little fans here and here because this is the heated neck scarf that allows you to drive with warm air coming over your neck. So that way, even if it's a little cool, you can still enjoy the starlight night if it's the mood. Before we check out under the hood, I do want to get in the back of this thing because an S-Class is like the ultimate limo. But when you have an S-Class Coupe and then you also have that roof stashed back there, is there any room for people? Not quite the S-Class experience I'm used to, but it'll do, and I would be just fine driving back here with the soundtrack of this V12. We do have heated seats back here, and that's the thing. The name of the game here is to have heated everything because I think they really do want you to be able to keep this roof down as often as possible. But it is $250,000, which means you're gonna have to have leather and fine appointments everywhere. It is still fairly standard Mercedes stuff, but it's not cheap. You know, this stuff is high quality, nice clicks, all the knurled aluminum switches and knobs. We like that. But could you use your S-Class cab to go golfing? I think you could fit a small golf bag back here. I'm not a golfer, but that doesn't look very promising, and it's certainly only for one individual if you were to do so. But under the hood, here is the heart of the S65. It's the M279 BiTurbo V12. And maybe if you owned one of these for the summer or the summer home, you might also own a G65 AMG for the winter and the daily duties, because then you'd have 2 of AMG's finest V12 BiTurbos. But there's not much to see other than a carbon fiber cover, and that's just fine. I don't want to look under here. I'm sure it's complicated and very expensive to maintain. But then again, it's not just about affording that $250,000 price tag. It's about the depreciation, because I'm sure this thing was worth $100,000 less very quickly. So let's start it up, listen to this thing sing. Oh. Put it in sport mode. Now, that is actually a nice free revving vibe right there. And listen to this rumble. It's not ostentatious, it's classy, and it means business, and it is buttery smooth. But before we get driving, I want to show you the roof movement. First, let's just take a look at the little wind deflector back here. That rises up. That's going to keep us from messing up our hair on the drive. And then I'm going to show you this roof movement. Giant hatch opens up. And up comes this gorgeous roof. Alcantara headliner. And there you have it. You've got your top up, but even better, no B-pillar, because, I mean, obviously, but still, we like a B-pillarless vehicle, right? But who are we kidding? It's 60 degrees. Oh, there's an AMG on the lock as well. I love it. There's so many little, like, details and Easter eggs here. We got to put the roof down. We got to enjoy this as a top-down drive. So let's pop this back down. Sorry, it's not going to be a quiet one. We're going to enjoy this V12 to its fullest potential. Look at the real estate. It's incredible. Got our little seatbelt butler that comes out. Not something that's going to break like my BMWs always did. Hopefully. Into drive. And away we go. Let's see if we can get this thing off the line. I genuinely feel bad for those rear tires. So I didn't pedal it very much. I just kind of got into it, but it gives you an idea of how even like a quarter throttle is gonna get those things to spin up, engage traction control, and slow you down. So the all-wheel drive S63, definitely gonna be a faster car, but I mean, that is just unbelievable. And you hear the little crackles and pops. What a thing. And it's not barking mad. I mean, this lady has no idea. Didn't even hear it. So this V12 definitely has a buttery smooth sound, but it's not obnoxious. I mean, someone might want to straight pipe this, but it is still an S-Class. Hear the little burbles on the overrun. It's amazing just how well it handles, though. I mean, of course it's a Mercedes-Benz, of course it's an AMG. We're still dealing with like a 5,000-pound vehicle. It's funny how it'll short shift just to maintain traction. Dip into the throttle, and you can just start to feel the torque pour on in a wave because those turbos are spooling up. And once that pressure builds, it's off. It's just gone. And you get a sense that this is just the ultimate highway GT car. It's still surprisingly precise. You don't need the revs to be up high. You know, even at like 2,200 RPM, you add a little throttle, you're moving just fine. It's just effortless. You have to put no energy into this car to get it up to speed. It's pretty shocking. Typically, when you've got something that's got, 738 pound-feet of torque, you're talking about something really monstrous, something that's like hard to tame. And it's just so charming that this operates like a yacht, but still handles like a precision tool. That's magical. See how she handles a tight corner? It's a big car. I'm impressed. I mean, I have to slow down. Like, this thing... Feels like I'm in a music video. We've got the helicopters coming after us. This is great. But look at this, 73 miles an hour, we'll just put our foot down. That thing rips. Cannot imagine how much fuel we're using. See how she does up the hill. That's just unbelievable. It's so graceful. Grace is the word, man. Oh, that sounds terrible. It sounds like I was going for a grease is the word pun. I wasn't, I promise. I apologize for that. But man, like, it's insane how quick this thing is without being diabolical or untamed. It still just does its job. When you put your foot in it, the turbos build pressure, the car takes off. This 7-speed is doing a lot for this car because we've driven the SL65 AMG Black Series, and with that 5-speed, it's a little tricky to keep it in boost, to keep it moving. This just feels refined and proper. It's unbelievable. This is an easy thing to just poodle around town in, though, because your foot doesn't always have to be planted to the floorboards. And it's a really lovely interior. One thing that I'm noticing, though, is that this seating position is fairly high, and I would like to go lower. I cannot go lower. That's fine, but like, you know, this visor is kind of right in my face. So if you're a very tall person, that may be a bit of an issue. Is that an old Land Rover ahead of us? We'll go take a look. You can always approach traffic with ease in this thing. That is very cool. And that's the thing, even though I have a V12 with 2 turbos and a ton of torque, top-down motoring is top-down motoring, and I love having the roof off of these cars. It is so entertaining and enjoyable. And I can smell everything coming out of that. It smells great. Maybe I'm just a little sick. Maybe I have that thing where, like, I like walking into a go-kart track and smelling the oily fuel. What a sound. I mean, that's raucous. But it's not overwhelming. I mean, I don't think it's offensive. I do have these lovely paddles behind the wheel. They feel like they're made of aluminum. They've got really nice, smooth touch points. They don't feel cheap. But listen to this on the downshift. Now what you can't tell is that the seat is actually doing some active work for me. The side bolsters are moving when I take a corner, so it holds me in place exactly where I need to be. It gives me a little extra support in the corner. Now what I like about that is that when I'm just kind of cruising along, I don't have to feel constricted by the seat. I have a nice luxurious seat. But when I get into that corner, the seat takes care of that for me. So you get the best of both worlds. Once you get the hang of putting the power down, it's not so bad. So let's go see if we can. surprisingly agile. And then what's nice is that it's still composed. You can bring it right back down to earth. So, you know, we are dealing with a real world situation. We have traffic, we have people out here, but it doesn't mean you can't enjoy a nice corner. Thank you so much to Boston Motorsports for the opportunity to drive this Mercedes-Benz AMG S65 Cabriolet. Pretty much the coolest V12 out there for now. And I don't know that we're gonna see these. I think this is gone. I don't think there's even an S-Class coupe on the docket anymore. But we love highway merging torque. That's the stuff of my dreams. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I hope to give you a lot more egregious top-down experiences this summer and spring, whether it's Lamborghinis or Bentleys, but I just love to feel the world around me while I burn some fuel. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you to the Patreon supporters for your financial support every month. Thank you for not being as dumb as these folks merging onto the highway. I hope you understand what yield and merge means. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. You know what's wild is that this was a $70,000 premium on top of the S63. $70,000 for a slower car to 60, but for the right philosophy. Because the reality is you're getting a rear-wheel drive platform here. So even though it can't get off the line as quickly, you've got like a proper old school vibe of the Mercedes Cabriolet experience. This is like a true driver's car. Not to mention that for that $70,000, you're ensuring that you'll never be at a stoplight and have a superior S-Class parked next to you. I don't even think the Maybach counts at that point. This is it. This is the top dog in my opinion. So you'll never have that scenario where you've bought the S63 and an S65 pulls up next to you. That's the embarrassing moment you want to avoid. And if you just pay $70,000, you'll never have to feel that shame.